Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy MMA Propaholic, and I'm back with another full card breakdown. And I'm going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 72. And let me just talk about the results for last weekend. UFC Vegas 71 down 1.38 units. Really not the card that, really not what I was expecting. Dana Backrell money line was looking great. We had a 2018, even had a 2017 scorecard, and he just gave up. Didn't really agree with the stoppage, but I mean, I guess I understand. Did not just honestly quit. And Junior Top of money line. I thought he was going to keep it on the feet, and I mean, his takedown defense just looked god awful. I was most mad about that bet missing, guys, and the fight to end by TKO. I had parlayed in that fight with the main event to end by TKO, and I had that parlay for like minus 110. So on total of that fight, I think I lost like 1.4 units, which kind of crushed me. Then I hit the under 2.5 in the Jackson Yaha fight at minus 142 for 0.78 units. Then I hit the I don't even have it right now. I'm going from my mind right now. I have the fucking, what else did I have? Oh, I had Semmelsberger money line for half the unit at plus 120. Just, I mean, Semmelsberger looked good, man. On the feet, Wells looked really bad, honestly. I still can't believe there was a judge that actually scored the fight for Semmelsberger. Like, I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to have another split decision tracked loss on my record. Guys, my last like 5 or 6 money lines that I've lost have went to split decision. So yeah, besides Dana and Junior Tapa, but I'm pulling up the other results now for the card. And I also lost the sprinkles on Dumont KO2 and KO3 at plus like 4,200, KO3 at plus 5,000. Dumont kind of had her chances, but she just kept clinching, and I was a little shocked at how much she kind of was engaging in the clinch. But I guess she was using Hosa coming up to 145 as that advantage just to cage push and win minutes. But when they were in the pocket, they were throwing down, and Dumont cut her open at the pretty sure like at the end of round one, and I'm like, okay, like we got plus 4,200 and we got plus 5,000. Like this is very live, but yeah, Dumont cage pushed. And I had the under 2.5 in the main event parlayed with the Nathan Levi money line, and Nathan Levi got canceled. So yeah, guys, down 1.38 units. I'm actually down track in my last 3 weeks. I'm down 2.2 units in the last 3 weeks, which could be a lot worse. But yeah, my longest losing streak was when I in my first 4 months, my first 4 weeks of capping. I went up the first card. I think I went up like I think this is the August 8th card of last year. I think it might have been Santos Hill. Can't really remember, but I went up like 3.4 units, and then those next 3 events, guys, I went down 7.29 units. In the USC Kansas City card, I went down 30 cents. I went down 30 cents on that card, but I also had Budalova, and there was just it was just not. It's been a tough 3 weeks, guys. I'm looking to really bounce back on this card. I'm going to UFC 288 next week, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, let's get into these fights. Let me stop talking about last week and let's focus on this week. I just wanted to say the results for last week. But yeah, well, we got Haley Cohen versus Jamie Lynn Horth. We got Cohen, who is 31 years old. She's 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. And she fights out of the Southpaw stance, and she fights out of Blitz Sports MMA. And we got Horth is 5'7" with a 67-inch reach, and she fights out of the Sound Martial Arts in Canada. She fights representing British Columbia, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, guys, Jamie Lynn Horth actually was she couldn't get any fights at flyweight. Pretty sure she had like 7 fights canceled because nobody even wanted to fight her on the regionals. But I like her film, especially when she was in a knee bar in her last fight against Maria, and Maria had her in a really bad knee bar. It had to be for about a minute 30 into the fight, and Lynn Horth just got up and didn't even look like that she was phased. But after I supposedly she had a torn ligament in her knee that whole entire fight, and she kept fighting through 2 rounds and got the submission. So that was really impressive to me. Yeah, and then we got Cohen, and it's like Haley Cohen, she's a really good athlete. Pretty sure she like used to do gymnastics, and she was on a Dana White Contender Series. She throws a lot of high head kicks. She kind of like has like an okay jab, but the one thing that just like really stuck out to me as Cohen is that she really has holes in her submission defense. Like I went and watched her regional tape, and I remember doing tape on her for Vidal, and I can't even sweat it more. The Kelly Clayton fight, like Kelly Clayton, guys, is a boxer. She's a straight boxer, and she is 36 years old. Now she was 36 at the time in that sub, and she's now 39. Guys, she has not fought since that Haley Cohen fight. She lost her first two professional fights in MMA, and she went out there and pulled guard and had about like Haley Cohen was on top for the first round, but it was almost as if that she didn't even know how to like pass through and like pass through like in advanced positions, that she was kind of just sitting in the guard and letting Kelly, she was letting her do whatever she wanted, and she threw about up like five arm bars, which it was just really concerning to me. And then fast forward to the see who she fought on the Contender Series. Yeah, Claudio Lita. It was like I can't say I'm terrible with last names. I gotta start getting better with last names. It's like Claudia only has one submission on her record, and Claudia had her in a very bad position. Like you would see Hallie Cohen just getting swept, and to me, it just really wasn't a good look watching her get swept. And Jamie Lynn Hort is physical, guys. Like she only has 5 MMA fights. She's training with Lupi Godinez, and she has 2 wins over Godinez amateurly. So like, but Godinez is also a strawweight, but so she's technically really learning like a pretty heavy wrestling game. I'm pretty sure, and she really was implementing it when she was progressively moving on with her MMA career. Like, and her like, I was watching Lynn Hort, and she was getting taken down. I'm about to look at the opponent now, guys. I'm on Tapology. She was getting taken down by some girl on the regional scenes. And it was I like have a video on my phone of how bad her takedown defense was and like how easy it was to get her down. Pretty sure it was the Karina. Can't even say this girl's name, but this girl is she's 8-4, so she's not bad. And she's a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I can understand why that lady was trying to get the fight to the ground. But yeah, Lynn Horth, like I don't think she has bad cardio. She does leave her hands down. I think both ladies are gonna really want this fight up against the fence. No bet for me here. I was gonna bet Horth money line at like when I take this fight, she was plus 115. Um, I don't know. I just really don't have an interest in betting this fight, but I really want to watch it. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I mean, if Hallie Cohen could even get a fight, I mean, she really has just been getting very unlucky lately. But Lynn Hort is definitely live for a submission, but Hallie Cohen's gonna want this fight up against the fence, and she's gonna want to just throw knees to the body, and she's just gonna want to try to break this girl down. And yeah, we haven't seen Lynn Hort. This is her first time coming back since the reconstructed knee, and she's 33 years old. So it's like, she kind of has to get a move on a little bit. But yeah, she's on an 8-fight winning streak from her amateur going into a professional career. But yeah, she fights like once a year. So I just really can't get to a money line here. And violence, I was considering. Like, I'm considering the fight doesn't go at plus 150, but like, I really could see a lot of this fight taking place in the grappling and just a lot of cage pushing. So I'm gonna pass here, but for a winner, I'll pick Jamie Lynn Horth by decision. I'll pick Horth by decision for this fight. Let's move on though. Next we got Brian Boom Kelleher, who is 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. He fights out of the switch stance and fighting out of Long Island MMA. Let's go. Represent Boom. And we got Journey Newson, who is 34 years old. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. He fights out of the orthodox stance, and he trains out of Impact BJJ. And huge experience edge for Kelleher. He has 10 more UFC fights. Kelleher, I'm pretty sure, opened like minus 250, and there has just been tons of money coming in on Kelleher. Like I'm seeing Kelleher now at minus 133, and I'm really tempted to get there. The one thing I just don't like about Kelleher is that he's really not a good minute winner on the feet. Like I understand his competition of who he's been losing to in his last 5 fights. Like his last 3 losses in his last 5 fights are Ricky Simone by decision, who's main eventing this card. He Umar Nurmagomedov, no shame, and Mario Batista, whose ground game has just been evolving, and he's been looking phenomenal lately. And when I see Kelleher getting his most success, he's getting takedowns. Like in the Domingo Pilarte fight, like Pilarte wasn't even using any sort of get up game. He was just trying to play jujitsu off his back because he saw the amount of times that Kelleher has been submitted. I'm pretty sure he was submitted up to 6 times going into that fight. So Pilarte kind of was just like relying on his offensive guard, and it just really wasn't doing anything. And if Kelleher can get the wrestling going here, Kelleher looks what he opens, but like Journey Newson facing Sergey Morozov, like Journey Newson did not look bad in that fight. Like he actually was like really impressing me. Like I think he has a pretty good gas tank. His only win in the UFC is against Fernie Garcia, and the way he won that fight is that he was just moving in and out in the outside and just kicking the leg of Garcia, who is a straight boxer and doesn't even know how to check leg kicks, and was effectively getting his leg destroyed on the regional. So it's like that didn't really like impress me, but I didn't really expect him to give Morozov a fight. But I also don't really rate Morozov's cardio that well at all. So I know Kelleher has a good gas tank, but this is a tough fight, man, because I think the minute winner on the feet is going to be Journey Newson at range. Like, but I'm looking at the significant strikes at range for Journey Newson, and it's like this guy's landing 3.2 significant strikes per minute, and he's attempting 10, guys. He only lands at a 31% accuracy, which is, I think that's bad. And I'm looking at Kelleher. Kelleher throws 13 a minute, and he lands 4.59. So it's actually Kelleher who's outlanding Newson, and it's Kelleher who's winning a lot of positions and control time. Like, Journey Newson's takedown defense is not very good. It is 43%, but like even prior to the Morozov fight, I'm pretty sure his takedown defense was like it was 0%. He got taken down at 3 times. So it's like Kelleher is a controlled wrestler. I think he's in very good shape. Obviously, like I want Kelleher to win this fight. Obviously, like Long Island represent. I think he can win this fight. Like minus 133 on Kelleher is extremely tempting to jump, but I don't really know if I want to bet this fight because my original look was the over 2.5, but now it's minus 160. I'm really not really don't want to get there in that line, but I mean, I've been hearing like Journey Newson by submission, and it's like, yeah, maybe, but it's like, who is he submitting? Um, I mean, he knocked down Ricardo Ramos. It's like, yeah, I'm hearing that, but it's like he was also like kind of roided up there, and he was roided up when he knocked out Domingo Pilarte, and then came back and then got knocked down in 40 seconds to Randy Costa. But Brian Kelleher is not Randy Costa throwing 15 head kicks in 30 seconds. So yeah, Newson's wins, like his best win on his record is Fernie Garcia. So it's like getting Kelleher, I feel like at minus 133 is a little bit sort of like a very buy low spot, especially seeing his line. Looking at it now, he's still minus 133 on Bet Online. He opened minus 205. So yeah, guys, a lot of people are betting Newson, and like I understand, but I don't at the same time because this guy doesn't really have any good wins, and his best wins Fernie Garcia, which you guys know how I rate Fernie Garcia. If you guys heard my breakdown last week on Brady Heastan, which was accurate as hell. Thank you, Dana, for giving up in the last 40 seconds. Don't know what that was about, but yeah, let's move on to the next fight. We got Stephanie Egger versus Irina Alexeva. And we got Edgar, who is 5'6", with a 68-inch reach, fighting on an orthodox stance, training at a buddy gym. And we got Irina, who is 5'8", with a 66-inch reach. Her stance, I don't even know her stance. I don't have it. She trains at a PATB Ratty team out of Russia. I have no idea what the hell the UFC is doing signing this girl Irina. I'm a little. I really feel like they're trying to build up Stephanie Edgar. I think this is a very good spot for Edgar. She's gonna get the fight that she wants here. Irina's actually a black belt in judo, and she wants to be in the clinch, but Irina couldn't make weight her last fight. She came in 4 pounds overweight against Stephanie Page, and she was they were saying how she was trying to weight bully and how she was like dying making weight, and that's why she couldn't fight. Um, the Lilia Kazak fight, very concerning. She got her back taken and she got knocked down. Irina probably has like the striking defense of Priscilla Cachoeira. It's very bad. Her hands are just down in her waist, but she's just walking forward, trying to clinch you. She likes to throw elbows at close range. She's very reliant on her right hand. She tries to stun opponents, but I mean, Stephanie Edgar, whenever you even get close to Edgar and she gets you in this judo throw, you're done. Stephanie Edgar passes position so well. She's so dominant on top. 7 of her 8 wins inside the distance. And pretty sure she has all her wins inside the distance at the UFC level. And the only time she's been to decision, guys, is against Tracy Cortez. And Irina is not Tracy Cortez level. So, I have a bet on the under 2.5. I have it at plus 131 for 0.65 units. You guys can still get the same line that I have on Bet Online. I'm really shocked with this spot. I just feel like for both ladies, there's just a finishing upright, and the way that Irina fights, it's just very concerning to me. She eats punches with her face. Her submission defense, she got her back taken in that fight against Lilia Kazak. She got her back taken and was in a rear naked choke. She didn't tap, but yeah, she was in it. And if you're in a rear naked choke against Stephanie Edgar, you're tapping out. And Stephanie Edgar, man, I think Stephanie Edgar is getting better and better and better. She's gonna get the fight she wants here, guys. She is gonna get the fight that she wants here. And yeah, this girl Irina, guys, she hasn't fought since she's coming off a 2-year layoff, which I just don't like at all too. So yeah, plus money on the under 2.5 with the biggest step down that Stephanie Edgar is facing so far in her UFC career is great to me. And Irina's nickname is Russian Ronda. So you clearly know who she looks up to. That could be a horrific nickname if she's comparing herself to Ronda Rousey and she gets judo thrown right into a submission, which I think is just so live in this fight. So yeah, give me violence, and even Edgar at minus 275. I don't even hate it. Like, I'm shocked that money is pouring in Irina. Like, I think she sucks. I don't know what she's doing here at the UFC, but yeah, give me Stephanie Edgar here. I'm shocked that she's only minus 275. She opened minus 300 too. Thought the line would really come in on her, but it just hasn't. So let's move on to the next fight. We got here we go. We got Josh Quinlan versus Trey Waters. We got Waters, who is 6'5" with a 77-inch reach, and we got Quinlan, who is 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. So Trey Walters, very tall, very lengthy for this division. Trey Walters, I'm pretty sure, was the guy who came off the Contender Series, and I'm pretty sure he got knocked out cold. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Bonifim. Yeah, it was. It was he got Von Flue choke, but he also got knocked down in that fight, and yeah, Trey Waters, man, like this guy is the definition of violence. He likes to get the fight on the ground, but he does have some pretty heavy hands too. Has a pretty big amateur career, and the guy is only 28 years old. But I mean, Lauren, like his hands, man, he does not know, I think, how to block a punch. He blocks him with his face, and if you're gonna do that against Quinlan, more than likely going to get knocked out because that's exactly what Quinlan wants. Quinlan, even in his amateur career, he's only been to decision once, and amateur fights are only 9 minutes. But yeah, guys, he actually has 2 round 3 finishes on his professional career, and both in the LFA level. And Quinlan will wrestle. Like, Quinlan will go to the ground, but I don't really think he should do it here. And we know about Logan Urban, who he tested positive for PEDs, and Logan Urban came on like 3 days short notice too. So I mean, you're I for Quinlan to do that, I didn't like that at all. And I bet Quinlan inside editions against Jason Witt because Jason Witt is Jason Witt. I mean, Jason Witt is the worst chin in the division, but I think you could put Trey Waters' chin right up there. And to be so tall with such a reach, he could probably get Quinlan a lot of problems early, but his hands are going to be down, man. And Quinlan is going to look for that overhand right. He's going to hunt for it as soon as the bell rings. I like violence here. I love violence here. I'm still waiting to get access to this under 1.5. I currently still don't have access to it. Oh, Bet Online just actually came out with it an hour ago. It's minus 125. I don't hate it. I might just parlay the fight doesn't go to decision just because Quinlan does have two round 3 finishes, but I think violence is a move here, especially on short notice for Waters. And yeah, give me violence. Let's move on. Then a fight that I do have a bet on. We got Cody Durden versus Charles Energy Johnson. You got Durden, who is 5'7" with a 67-inch reach, and we got Johnson, who is 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Johnson fighting out of the switch stance, and Durden fighting out of the southpaw stance. Durden trains at American Top Team in Atlanta, and we got Johnson, who is training at Murcielago MMA. So yeah, obviously Charles Johnson, this guy is just active as all hell. The Mokaev fight just got absolutely controlled. That's Mokaev, but I mean, he wasn't even really trying to break the hands, but the grip of Mokaev is extremely strong. But really, like, even in the Zamagulov fight for Johnson, I don't think he won that fight. Jimmy Flick, he got taken down against Jimmy Flick and got his back taken against Jimmy Flick, who he's more of a submission over position grappler. And if Jimmy Flick decided in that taking his back exchange and he decided to take position over submission, he can ride the back out through the whole entire round. And guys, Cody Durden is winning so many minutes in the wrestling, in the control time, and he has more fights in the UFC than Johnson, which stuck out to me when I was looking at the tail of the tape here. And Cody Durden used to be a kickboxer and transitioned himself to really become a wrestler when he got to American Top Team. And he's been fully training MMA since he went to American Top Team in Atlanta in 2020. And this kid's impressive, man. Like, he went to the ground with Gutierrez, who was a black belt, and was really he on short notice, on 3 weeks short notice, gassed out in that fight. But it's a 3 week short notice, and the pace that Cody Durden pushes, it's heavy wrestling, grappling pace. Charles Johnson, I would say, doesn't have bad takedown defense, but like when you keep really shooting takedowns on him, he relies so much on his get up game that he doesn't fight the hands when he's getting taken down or fight the underhook. He's just so focused on getting back up to his feet and trying to tire you out that way. And if Johnson does that here, I don't know if that's going to work for Johnson because Durden, in the wrestling, guys, he has a 41% takedown rate, which is, I think, is pretty good on 14 takedowns, a 34 shot. Durden, guys, is winning. He's getting 51% control time when he's on the ground, and Johnson's getting out controlled 32% on the ground. It even on the feet, like Johnson's only landing 1.3 more significant strikes a minute. Yeah, Johnson does have the better cardio than Durden, but like Durden was supposed to fight Cledison Rodriguez, and his game plan, obviously, if he was to face Rodriguez, was to wrestle him and go to the ground with him. Like that was his camp. And if he's really, and I'm pretty sure like Rodriguez is a high level black belt. I don't know if he's third degree, but I'm pretty sure he's a high level black belt. And if he does that against Johnson, man, I think Johnson's in big trouble because I think Cody Durden is getting better and better, and I think he's getting more comfortable of going to the ground. I really like this spot for Durden. I like how he takes 6 months to come back and gives himself a full training camp, unlike Johnson, like really never resting his body at all. Like you guys like hear Charles Johnson's last three fights, like he fights Zamagulov in November of 2022. Then he comes back a month and a half later to fight Flick in January. Then he comes back another month later to fight Ode Osborne at 140. So he could have had a little bit of a weight cut issue. And now, fast forward 2 whole months later, he's been in camp for 8 weeks. I'm pretty sure after the Osborne fight. So it's like this guy isn't even like resting his body. And if he's gonna come in sore here and he's gonna come in against Durden, I think he's in huge trouble. And I think Durden, I bet Durden at plus 170, guys. I bet him early. I put 0.42 units on it. He's at plus 120 now. I knew the money was going to come in on Durden because when you watch the film, it's like Durden has a clear path to victory. And this guy, like a lot of people, I think, are sleeping on Durden's hands. This guy has some serious power. Like, just because he knocked out JP Buys doesn't mean he doesn't have power. Like, you watch him in that fight, he's really throwing the right hand in, and he destroyed JP Buys, man. And Montel Jackson didn't even get JP Buys out of there, and Corey Durden did it in a minute. And looked great against Carlos Mata. And Carlos Mata is a high level black belt as well, who was threatening submissions. I think he's a higher level black belt than Johnson. So Johnson also throws a lot of front kicks, guys. He throws a lot of leg kicks, and Durden's going to catch those kicks. And he gets a full explosive takedown, and Durden gets you up against the fence, which that's what Johnson likes to get his back up against the fence so he can try to stand up. So I think Durden's going to win a lot of minutes here, and I just felt plus 170 was just way off. And yeah, I beat tons of line movement, and I'm happy with it. But let's move on, guys. I'm going to pick Cody Durden to win the fight by decision. Let's move on. Wow, Levi versus Rodriguez got called off, and oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the fight of the night. Woo! Martin Buday versus Jake Collier. Okay, before I get into the metrics, I will never forgive you. I'm going to call you Fat Collier, aka Uncle Wheezy. Thank you for that name because he's a Fat Collier, man. He's a Fat Collier. Jay Collier looked like he was in the worst shape of his life last fight. And I had him inside the distance against Chris Barnett. I will never, ever forgive you, Jay Collier. What the hell happened? I had to relive it on the film and was so disgusted that I even laid money and was confident. Because that's how bad I think Chris Barnett is. But man, Jay Collier. Jay Collier is a former 185er and goes to 205, and now he's in heavyweight. It's like this guy. His last two wins, guys, are against Vellante and Chase Sherman. I'm not even here. I'm gonna do the metrics advantage. I'm gonna do the metrics quick. Okay, I'm gonna do it very quick. I'm gonna do it quick. We got Jay Collier, who is 6'3" with a 78-inch reach, and we got Martin Buday, who is 6'4" with a 77-inch reach. Buday fighting out of orthodox, Collier fighting out of orthodox stance, and then we got Buday who's training at Sparkus Fight Gym, and then we got Jay Collier who's training at Pitt MMA. That's all they're gonna get for that. Jay Collier has 10 more UFC fights, though. He clearly has the experience, and if you guys remember the Buday Brzezinski fight, like, please, if you guys remember that fight, go in the comments, because tell me not when someone walked into the crowd, it had to be like third round, and like both guys weren't really doing anything with their punches. They stopped what they were doing and started hyping up the crowd, and it had to be one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in film, because Martin Buday got so excited and thought the crowd was getting excited for him. But meanwhile, they were just getting excited. I don't know who walked in the arena, but someone walked in the arena, and Brzezinski got excited too. But yeah, I bet Martin Buday against Chris Barnett. I don't know what. Yeah, I really fade Chris Barnett. This is before I started track betting though, but I parlayed Buday, and Martin Budai almost did the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in MMA, and I almost didn't forgive him for that as well. I was about to break my television that is mounted on my wall and try to rip it off because that's how angry I was. In the Brzezinski fight, I don't he did not win that fight. He didn't win that fight. And I see people who have they're going into the week thinking that anyone's a lock in this fight. Um I say the biggest lock on this fight is to not bet it. I say go get a beer, go smoke some pot, just do anything besides bet on this fight. Watch the fight and just laugh and be happy and proud of yourself that you don't even have $5 on the fight, because I'm going to give out my best bet on the fight. And it's fight 10 by split decision because both of these guys suck and I can't trust either one of them, and they are both going to fight the same way. I do not trust any of them. They don't deserve more time for me. And let's just move on. And please, I really bet you guys. Like, I bet Junior Tafa last week, and I bet Jared Vanderaa. I put money on Jared Vanderaa to beat Waldo Acosta. I was so disgusted with myself that I even thought Jared Vanderaa would be smart to go out there and do what was just so goddamn obvious. And he didn't do a damn thing. He did not do any of it. I cannot trust either one of these guys. It's low-level heavyweight. It is just not. Please, guys, just please stay away from it. If you guys have a read on this fight and you're confident, bet it. But if you guys are just betting it to fade the other fighter, do not do that. And if you lose, you're going to be like me, up at night, staring yourself in the mirror, wondering why you bet this fight. Because that was me when I bet Junior Tafa, and that was me when I bet Jared Vanderaa. And I was disgusted with myself. But let's move on to another heavyweight fight. I'm pretty sure this is the next fight. Let me see. I'm pretty sure they moved to Lima. Oh, they did. They're doing back-to-back heavyweight fights. I have a bet on this fight as well. And this is I actually think this is a pretty high level heavyweight fight. We got Marcus Rogerio de Lima versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. So I probably said his last name wrong. Again, it's a long last name. I'm sorry. Laugh at me all you want, guys. But we got Lima, who is 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. And we got Costa, who is 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. And it's I keep saying Costa, my bad, guys. It's Acosta, who is 31 years old, and Lima, who is Acosta's 31 and Lima is 37 years old. Lima has 13 more UFC fights. And I mean, what do we know about Waldo Cortez Acosta? The guy hates fucking leg kicks. You kick his leg, he jumps, he reacts every time, he grits, and the guy starts hitting a salsa dance after getting his leg just obliterated. And he fights out of one stance, guys. He is so heavy front-loaded in boxing stance. All he does is throw a 1-2 combination following an overhand right. He does it every single time. And he'll mix it inside leg kick every other or 15 of 20 strikes that he throws with his hands. Leaves huge openings. He got knocked down in the Thomas Peterson fight. And Thomas Peterson, who isn't even a wrestler, Thomas Peterson was having huge success early, getting him down and controlling him. And in the Donnell Suzar fight, Acosta was minus 475. Suzar almost got him out of there. And Costa, the way that De Lima throws away more power than this Danilo guy. And he throws more technical with his hooks. And I'm telling you guys now, De Lima's going to have a lot of openings to knock out Acosta Jr. He's going to have a huge advantage on the ground. We saw Chase Sherman took down Acosta. Chase Sherman shot probably the worst takedowns I've ever seen in that fight, and Cage pushed him and was winning minutes up against the fence, but he was breaking up the clinch. De Lima is not going to break up the clinch. De Lima is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a kickboxing black belt. And what do we know about De Lima? He's a former 205er, and he's transitioned to heavyweight. And the guy throws leg kicks. I mean, my lord, when you watch the film and you hear the calf kicks, go watch the Ivanov fight. I had a bet on Ivanov by submission/points, and just watching Ivanov, who might be the toughest person in the heavyweight division, being stabbed 15 times, Bulgarian 50 Cent, like, if he lands those leg kicks, he can land two of them because Jared Vandera, Chase Sherman and Jared Vandera, like Jared Vandera throws tapping leg kicks. Everyone's like, yeah, but Jared Vandera has the highest kicking rate in the heavyweight division. He taps your leg. He's not full force throwing it. Like DeLima, like Chase Sherman landed 4 leg kicks. He in the first round won the first round and only threw he threw 2 leg kicks that first round, and Costa's movement was stopping. And Chase Sherman stopped going to the leg kicks. And that's when Acosta got way more comfortable in the pocket because Chase Sherman is probably the worst striking defense in the history of the UFC. It's god awful. He has no head movement whatsoever. DeLima's moving in and out of strikes, 62% striking defense at range. This guy has serious power in his hands. He has a huge advantage in the kickboxing game. He can cage push Acosta. He can get this fight to the ground and win minutes on the ground. I bet DeLima at -135. I put 1.01 units on him. I'm back betting heavyweight fights, but this one, man, like DeLima's not a low-level fighter. DeLima has never been knocked out, nor has he ever been knocked down. And this guy's faced Ben Rothwell, who we absolutely have just sparked in 40 seconds, and we know how durable Ben Rothwell is. I understand people are like, yeah, but Acosta is 6 years younger. I see so many, I hear people saying too, yeah, so many people are betting DeLima. He's the fade of the week. Why wouldn't people be betting DeLima? Like, he has the all-around MMA game everywhere. Acosta is right-hand reliant of a knockout here. And I think the only way that Acosta wins this fight is if DeLima death gasses himself and can't get the takedowns, which I just don't see happening at all. Because DeLima's a smart fighter. He's fighting at American Top Team. Like, he's gonna obliterate that lead leg early. And once he stops that movement of Acosta, it's over for Acosta. Acosta has no ground game. He has no wrestling. He is so front heavy loaded that I don't think this is a good fight for him. And I say a lot of money has poured in on DeLima. He's -180 now, and I don't even hate him parlaying because I completely understand. Why people are betting this line. I really like DeLima here, and maybe I'm going to go a hot take. I think DeLima wins this fight by decision, but I think he is so live in the first round, obviously. He's live in the first round in every single one of his fights. But let's move on. We got Julian Erosa versus Fernando Padalita. Oh my god, I probably said it wrong. I gotta start practicing these last names before the show, guys. Someone remind me next time because I am so bad with last names. I'm sorry. We got Erosa, who is 33 years old. He's 6'1" with a 74-inch reach, fighting out of the southpaw stance. And we got Fernando, who is 6'1" with a 76-inch reach, fighting out of the orthodox stance. And Rosa's, this is Fernando's debut at the UFC. Rosa 12 fights in. Getting knocked out in his last fight via head kick was Rosa, and was looking good up to that point. Was kind of winning the minutes, but he just got caught with a very, very, very good feint. I don't really rate this Fernando kid that good, but I rate his competition that good. He trains with Luis Smokla, and when I watched this guy, Fernando, he had a 4-inch reach advantage and about a 7-inch reach advantage against Nate Richardson. And Nate Richardson was landing jabs at range and was hitting Fernando pretty bad. And Fernando won that fight by split. This guy does fight pretty close. It's pretty hard to finish this guy. He's never been finished. And Julian Erosa, on the other hand, Julian Erosa's winning tons of minutes on the ground. He did it against Daladu, which I loved. It was so smart. He looked great on the feet. He was messing up Daladu in the first 2 rounds. He looked, that was his best performance. He even looked good in the Peterson fight. looked good in the Jourdain fight. Got knocked out by Siwon Choi, and Choi just has ridiculous power in his hands. He has way more power than Fernando. Fernando only has 4 knockouts, but he has 8 submission wins. But they're all coming very early in his career, and they're not coming against very high level competition. And each of the guys I was looking at that he's submitting, they've been submitted a very good amount of times on their record. And Julian Erosa, the last time I'm pretty sure that Julian Erosa got submitted was against Julian Erosa's never been submitted. He's been knocked out 6 times. But it's like he's getting knocked out by Julio Arce in the 3rd round. Siwon Choi, who hits like an absolute truck, and he got knocked out by by Bruce Leroy. And it's like I'm shocked with this line. I'm shocked with this love on Fernando, because Fernando's coming back off, like, I'm pretty sure this is a year and a half of a layoff. And Julian Erosa has looked really good. Like, he even knocked out Nate Landwehr in 40 seconds and dealt with a style in Woodson that Fernando brings with his hands. But Fernando is a little more kick heavy, but it's like, man, I don't like Fernando's gas tank. I don't like it at all. And I feel like coming back on a year and a half, and I mean, training with Luis Smoker, it's like, you already know his gas tank shit. And when you watch Fernando on the tape, man, like, even in the Richardson fight, he just slowed down. He did not fight the 3rd round. He almost let Richardson steal that whole entire fight because he knew the scorecard. So he's like, yeah, I'm not even going to fight the 3rd round. I'm just going to keep backing up and just keep trying to jab him. That's all he did, and he was getting hit bad. Julian Erosa is an absolute savage. Yeah, the striking defense is concerning at 49%, but it's like, this is how this guy fights, man. Like, he fights like an animal. He is good with his wrestling. He's been implying it a lot more recently as well, and he is winning control time positions. Fernando has 8 submissions, but it's like, it's not against high level competition on the ground, and all these submissions are back in like 2016, 2017. His recent submission was against Farid Muhammad, and Farid Muhammad has been submitted 4 times, and Erosa has never been submitted once. So it's like, I'm a little shocked with this line on Erosa. I might get there if it keeps closing. He's minus 147 right now, but I also like the over 1.5. I think both guys are durable, and Fernando's. I don't think Fernando's durable, but I think Fernando. We know Julian Erosa kind of likes to start late as well. He's kind of more technical in the 1st round. Then he likes to start walking you down. But yeah, this over 1.5, it might be a sweat, but I kind of like it, man. And I might get there even with the Erosa money line as well. But yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. And Julian Erosa brings the fight every single time, but I'm going to pick Julian Erosa to win this fight by decision. And my best bet for this fight is the over 1.5. Like, a lot of people are on violence, and I'm a violence guy. I do not like the under 2.5 at its price at all. But let's move on to the next fight. Pretty sure we got 3 more fights left. Yeah, we do. We got Cody Brundage versus Rodolfo Vieira. We got Vieira, who is 6 foot with a 73-inch reach, and Brundage, who is 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Brundage fighting out of the orthodox stance, training out of Factory X, and Vieira fighting out of orthodox stance, training at Fusion XL. And I mean, Rodolfo Vieira's ground game, I mean, as elite as it can get. Multiple time champion. I don't know what the I forgot what the credential was, but let's just say that he is probably he's called the black belt hunter for a reason. This guy's grappling is probably he's been grappling since '07. So I mean that can tell you guys what's up with this guy. He is an absolute killer on the ground. When he takes your back, it's game over. You're not getting up. And Cody Brundage, it's the one thing that Brundage just does terribly. He did it against Maximov a lot. Maximov is position over submission and was showing it in that fight, just trying to win the minutes. And he did it against William Knight. He did it against Dalcha when Dalcha had him in ground and pound. And he went out there and took down Olachasek, but I know Olachasek's takedown defense is fucking it's really bad. I bet the under 1.5 here at plus 135. I bet it for 0.52 units. I even like it at minus 115 now. Vieira has power in his hands as well. Brundage is extremely hittable, but I know Rodolfo Vieira is going to get this fight to the ground in the first round because Brundage is going to pressure him. Brundage can't be on the back foot and let Vieira circle the cage and try getting him down because one takedown, it's more than likely over for Brundage because giving your back up against this guy, and he does it almost every time when he gets up, training it back to react. He's not training with heavy grapplers. He's not training with wrestlers. He's training with more of kickboxers. This is just... I'm a little shocked with all this Brundage love. I thought Vieira's cardio didn't even look that bad against Chris Curtis. Like, he was kind of maintaining himself against Curtis, and Curtis works the body a lot more than Brundage does. And yeah, Vieira is a killer, guys. I mean, the Anthony Hernandez fight, that was just, I mean, that was something, man. I've never seen anybody gas in 5 minutes. Yeah, man, this guy is no joke, and when he gets to your back, you're fucked. And I think Brundage Brundage comes out here like an animal. He could probably try to knock out Vieira round 1, but I mean, Brundage brings violence all the time, man. He's always bringing violence. His last 3 fights have ended in round 1 as well. So yeah, give me violence and give me Vieira by round 1 submission. Let's move on to the co-main event. Yes, we got Kyle Bahoro. Oh my god. I'm just gonna say the first name and stop. I'm gonna get so shit on in the comments. And we got Michael Olachasek. I could say Olachasek though. Like, how the fuck can I say Olachasek though? We got Olachasek, who is 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. And we got Gaio, who is 5'10 with a 75-inch reach, fighting out of the southpaw stance and training out of Fighting Nerds. And yeah, I bet the under 2.5. I bet it at minus 165 for 1.25 units. I'm pretty shocked with the line. Just knowing how horrific the ground game is of Olachasek. Pretty sure he's a white belt. Has no resistance with his takedown defense. Olachasek's 7 of 10 fights are going under 2.5. He throws a bunch of looping punches with tons of power ending intentions. He's a horrible ground game, horrible takedown defense. He's a white belt in BJJ compared to Kyo's black belt. And Kyo's been facing very elite submission defensive guys in Muradov, who hasn't been submitted, I think, since 2012. Petrosyan, who's fighting a bunch of Russians on the regional scene with high submission game. And even fighting, I think it was, man, I'm forgetting the guy's name on the top of my head. Omar. Oh my god, I can't even say his name too. But that Russian dude that he faced in his debut, that fight was, oh my god. We'll never get Kyo at minus 105 again. And I remember having him. That was one of the best bets I've ever made. But yeah, I think Kyo is definitely live for a submission here. And once he gets the back of Olachasek's he's a lost cause on the ground. Olachasek he's gonna walk in your face. He's gonna try to end the fight. That is every Olachasek cut. Every single, I'm just shocked. Like, they're giving an Olachasek under 2.5. Like, I'm shocked this under is at 1.5. I mean, I understand Kyo is going to decisions, but Olachasek's submission defense is nowhere near the guys that Kyo has been facing in his last 3 fights. So, yeah, and even the Aaron Jeffries submission defense is good as well. Because the only person who submitted Aaron Jeffrey is Brendan Allen. So it's like Olachasek has to walk forward. If he doesn't walk forward, he accepts being on the back foot. He's going to get his back taken, and that's not how he wants to look. And just go watch Olachasek come out against Sam Alvey. Oh, my Lord. I mean, Olachasek came out like an absolute of a man possessed And once he flipped position against Brundage, he was so pissed that he was just getting wrestled. Got his back taken against Brundage in the first minute of that fight as well. I'm shocked with this under 2.5 and its line placement. I love the fight doesn't go as well. I love violence. Give me Kyle by submission, and Olachasek round 1 KO is something that I am keeping my eye out on this week because I know Bet Rivers will give a plus 750 to a plus 800, and I will be taking a little stab at that as well. But let's move on to the main event, which I'm so glad they gave these guys a main event. We got Song Don versus Ricky Simone. We got Simone, who is 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. And we got Song Don, who is 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. And both guys, same amount of UFC fights. Yeah, it's striker versus wrestler. Ricky Simone, man, the pace that Ricky Simone pushes, it's insane. This guy has attempted 90 takedowns, landed 43 of them, landing at a 47% clip, getting 38% control time. Song Yadon with a 40, he has a 71% takedown defense, has defended 12 of 42 shot on him, and defended all the takedowns against Sandhagen. I'm pretty sure he only got taken down once. But Sandhagen was more of giving him the look than fully committing to the double leg, which I just think is just going to be the complete opposite here. This is a close line fight. I really love Song Yadon on the feet. This guy's hands, I watch him against Sandhagen, man. He impressed me, man. He was winning all that whole fight up until he got elbowed. He was winning the first 7 minutes of that fight up until Sandhagen landed that nasty elbow. And we know how Sandhagen, how vicious he is with his strikes. So it's like Ricky Simone is not as vicious as Corey Sandhagen on the feet. Ricky Simone's pace for a 5-round fight is it's something that I only think that Marab could do, but Ricky Simone can definitely prove us wrong. I mean, Ricky Simone has evolved himself, but saying the week, man, Uriah Faber knocked him out at 40 years old. How can Song Yadon not do it here? Song Yadon cannot accept being on the back foot. There's like a lot of fighters that can't accept being on the back foot on this card. If he lets Ricky push the pace on him from the opening bell, he's screwed. Because that's when Ricky gets comfortable, and that's when Ricky is going to be at his best, when he's comfortable. When Ricky's struggling to get the fight to the ground and he's on the feet, it's not like he doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't want to be there the whole entire time. So it's like, I think if Song Yadon is going to win the minutes on the feet, Ricky Simone's going to win the minutes on the ground. Fight doesn't go as minus 165, which I'm just like shocked at. Song Yadon has pretty good submission defense as well. He actually has like a pretty good front choke game. He does. I've seen him threatening with front chokes a couple of times. I'm just really, I think this line makes sense at Pick'em. But I favored Ricky Simone more in a 3-round fight than I favor him in a 5-round fight against Song Yadon. Because Song Yadon has been in a 5-round fight before, trained for a 5-round fight before, nor has Ricky Simone hasn't. And the pace that he pushes, he wants to mentally think that he can push it for 5 rounds, but will his body let him push it for 5 rounds? I don't know, man. This is like the toughest fight for me to get a pick and like be confident in it, but I think I'm gonna pick Ricky Simone to win this fight by decision. I'm looking at the over 2.5 for a bet. It's minus 150. I've seen it on a couple of books. I'm just waiting for DraftKings to get it out, and probably will parlay the over 1.5 as well. But yeah, Song Yadon likes to be at range, throws heavy leg kicks, throws heavy inside leg kicks. If he can do that early, he'll stop the movement of Simone, which will be a huge factor. And when Song Yadon releases his hands, man, they are fast. He's got some fast hands, man. And knocking out Julio Arce is not something easy to do. But yeah, that's it for this card, guys. That's the full card breakdown for UFC Vegas 71. Have like about 4 bets right now. I'm considering a couple of more bets. Still waiting for DraftKings and Bet Rivers and FanDuel to get these props out. Hope you guys have been enjoying these full card breakdowns. Only 11 fights this week. I'm still excited, but I'm so excited for next week, guys, because I'm going to UFC 288. But yeah, guys, let's have a bounce back week. These last 3 weeks, man, we've been going down. I hate going down units, but yeah, it's only been 2.2 units for these past 3 weeks, so it could be a lot worse. As I said in the beginning of the video, when I was on a 3 week loss when I first started track betting MMA, which was just terrible. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoy these full card breakdowns. Leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you guys are following me at MMA_Propaholic on Twitter. And yeah, guys, enjoy your week and enjoy your day. And thank you for taking your time and listening to me break down UFC Vegas 72. And let's make some fucking money this weekend, guys.